existence and energy. Here's a story that reflects these ideas. The Light-Bearer's Odyssey. In the deep, quiet expanse of the universe, far beyond the reach of any known star, there existed a being, the Light-Bearer. It was not a creature of flesh and bone, but of pure energy, woven from the radiant threads of starlight and the consciousness of ancient, forgotten civilizations. The Light-Bearer's form pulsed with a shimmering glow, a luminosity that contained the collective knowledge of the stars themselves. For eons, it had traveled through the void, guided by a singular purpose: to seek out the lost fragments of the primal lumina, the original light from which all existence had been born. Legends whispered that the lumina was more than just a light. It was the source of all consciousness, the first thought that ignited the universe into being. The Light-Bearer's journey was one of immense solitude, but it was driven by a deeper calling, a universal truth that connected all things through the principles of light. The Enigma of Creon 7. On a distant world called Creon 7, the Light-Bearer sensed the presence of one such fragment of the primal lumina. The planet was unlike any other it had encountered. Covered in iridescent crystal spires that reflected the light of a dying sun, Creon 7's atmosphere shimmered with hues of violet and gold. The air itself seemed to pulse with an ancient wisdom, as if the very elements were alive with a hidden consciousness. Descending from the astral plane, the Light-Bearer merged with the landscape, its energy flowing into the veins of the planet. It could feel the rhythm of Creon 7's core, an ancient heartbeat that echoed through the vastness of the crystal structures. Yet something was wrong. The light on this planet had dimmed, as if the lumina fragment buried within had been corrupted. The Light-Bearer ventured deeper into the crystalline labyrinths of the planet, guided by the faint glow of the fragment. As it approached, the environment began to distort. Shadows flickered and bent unnaturally, and the air was heavy with a sense of dread. The fragment was near, but it was not alone. Sham. The Keeper of Shadows. In the heart of Creon 7's core, the Light-Bearer encountered the Keeper of Shadows, an entity born of the absence of light. It had once been a being like the Light-Bearer, an emissary of the stars, but it had succumbed to the allure of darkness, a force that existed not in opposition to light, but as its necessary counterpart. The Keeper had embraced this shadow, bending the lumina fragment to its will and altering its pure radiance into something darker, something chaotic. "I was once like you," the Keeper whispered, its voice resonating like the crackle of dying embers. "But light alone cannot hold the truth of the universe. The shadows, too, have their wisdom. They are the balance, the void in which all things are born and die." The Light-Bearer stood silent, absorbing the Keeper's words. It knew that the shadows were part of the cosmic cycle, but the corruption of the lumina could not be allowed to spread. Light and shadow were meant to coexist, not to consume one another. The balance had been broken. The duel of light and shadow. The ensuing battle was not one of physical blows, but of energy. Light and shadow intertwined, weaving through the crystalline structures of Creon 7 like a cosmic dance. The Light-Bearer's radiance intensified, beams of pure luminescence striking out at the tendrils of darkness that the Keeper commanded. In return, the Keeper's shadows wrapped around the light, attempting to snuff it out, to turn it into a void where nothing could exist. But the Light-Bearer understood something that the Keeper had forgotten in its descent into darkness. True light does not destroy shadow, and true shadow does not extinguish light. They are reflections of the same source. With this realization, the Light-Bearer shifted its approach. Instead of battling the shadow, it began to embrace it, allowing its own energy to flow into the void, merging with it in harmony. As light and shadow fused, the corrupted fragment of the primal lumina began to heal. The dark tendrils that had wrapped around it fell away, and its pure, radiant light began to shine once more. The Keeper, no longer fueled by the corruption, collapsed into a formless wisp, a remnant of what it once was. The revelation of balance. With the fragment restored, Creon 7's light began to return. The crystal spires hummed with energy, reflecting the vibrant glow of the lumina fragment now residing in the planet's core. The Light-Bearer had not only saved the fragment, but had learned a crucial lesson about the nature of existence. Light and shadow are not enemies, but necessary companions. One cannot exist without the other, for it is in the balance between the two that the true essence of the universe is found. As the light bearer prepared to leave Creon 7, it carried this revelation with it, understanding that the journey ahead would not be about conquering darkness, but about maintaining the delicate equilibrium that binds all things together. The search for the remaining fragments of the primal lumina would continue, but with a new understanding of the cosmic principles that govern light, shadow, and all the spaces in between. This story reflects the esoteric principles often explored in StellarMass13's works, where light represents knowledge, consciousness, and creation, while shadow represents the void, mystery, and potential. The dance between these forces is a central theme, encapsulating the idea that existence is a balance between light and darkness,